entertain you and keep you tuned to ESPN and tuned to what's going on. We like you guys tuning into us right here at the Lone Star Sports Show on the Lone Star Sports Network. Alan Branch and Snoop Johnson taking a good look at it, taking a real good look at it. Well, Coach, I got a chance to get a full-blown deal today on what's going on out at
Jerry's World?
Jerry's World, Coach.
Okay.
Jerry's World was...
It's going down, Coach. It's been going down all day.
Be in Arlington, and it had the atmosphere.
Oh, you got some of that?
Yeah, I got some of that. It had the atmosphere of a big playoff game.
Sports bars off the hook, huh?
Sports bars, parking,
all kind of buses,
traffic, all kind of buses,
and
traffic,
party buses and limo buses.
All the crazy fans, all dressed up in all the crazy jerseys, and their cars all marked up, and paraphernalia hanging off the cars.
The crazy thing about them, the same kind of thing is going on downtown Dallas and downtown Fort Worth.
Really?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's interesting to know. But it was a real atmosphere. I grabbed me some gas there, and I was headed to a meeting that I had in Arlington today. And
Ubers everywhere.
Oh man, everybody's hustling, trying to figure it out.
Y'all remember that song? Ubers.
Hey,
Lady Life.
You got by me on that one. Mm-hmm. I was actually saying, Coach, I don't know if I saw any Ubers out there yet. They're gonna be out there. But it was just a tremendous atmosphere there to be there. I remember when they did it in Chicago, and it seemed to be a big deal. But obviously, I wasn't, live and on site. But there was a lot going on. But the one thing that I have noticed about this draft, and I don't think I've ever heard quarterbacks talked about as much as they talked about in this draft.
Oh, yeah.
Is this a heavy quarterback draft, or have we come to the conclusion or the understanding that the quarterback position is potentially the most important position on the field?
Well, a little bit of both. I think you have a good group of quarterbacks with good resumes. They have good resumes, quality resumes. Mm-hmm. The other thing of it is there are a lot of teams out there who don't have quality quarterback play. Mm-hmm. So my thing is whether these guys are really good quickly, or if these guys turn out to be quality guys in 2 or 3 years, this is the draft. This is the draft, and we're only talking about the top 5 or 6 guys. Coach, it's a few more guys out there. I mean, it's some guys out there potentially that could be Dak Prescott.
No, it goes on down. We keep on focusing on the top 5, and actually it goes on down to about 11 or 12.
Yeah. I wish we could get. If I was thinking about it, we could have got Devontae Kincaid. Devontae Kincaid is an old former Holmes kid, went to Skyline. Roosevelt really thought, they had him, at the home school. He ended up at Skyline, at the Magnet. Had a great career, went to Ole Miss, and then, played behind a man at Ole Miss, Jim Kelly's nephew, and he transferred to Grambling and had a historic 2 years at Grambling. Okay. So, I mean, I look for Devontae Kincaid to get drafted Saturday sometime.
Really?
But Kincaid can be he got the wit.
Right there at Oak Cliff.
Oh yeah.
Thanks to Keys.
Yeah, he got the wit. He got the wit to become a Dak Prescott. Yeah. With the right situation.
Well, I mean, and there's going to always be that, Snoop, because you and I both know, as good as we both might think we are at it, evaluation is not an exact science.
Yeah.
It's not an exact science. Because there's one factor that's always going to be in the process. It's the human factor. Mm-hmm. What's in between the ears and what's in the guy's chest.
That's the biggest intangible out there, Coach.
Yeah, that's the biggest intangible. Analytics can't touch that.
That's the one thing that when you're evaluating, and there's no such thing as a quick evaluation because
it's ongoing.
It's ongoing because once you see the talent, once you see that talent,
that's just the beginning.
Now you got to find out the other stuff, just like you and I was talking about a basketball kid earlier today.
Just a few minutes ago.
Right. No, I'm talking about the earlier one. The one over there a little bit east.
Okay, going east up Interstate 30.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out is
there something else in the bushes?
Other stuff because we know what we're looking at right there.
Yeah, we know we see with our eyes. Yeah. Well, man, we right here. Already time to go to break right here on the Lone Star Sports Show.
Huge day in the Metroplex.
All things sports, all things Texas right here on the Lone Star Sports Show. You're getting it where you want to be. You got Alan Branch, Snoop Johnson, Lady Life, and the Prince, Uneven Money, keeping us in between the lines. He's actually getting pretty good at this process.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering when y'all going at the end of the show, y'all going at the beginning of the show, y'all going to put some producer credits on there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm always thinking big. You know, I'm thinking big.
We appreciate you, Coach.
I'm thinking about what a Lone Star Sports Show gonna be at in 5 years.
Hey, it has started somewhere. We started right there. You know, right there on Forest Avenue.
Hey, Coach. You know, I mean, you know, Rockefeller Records started off in a little, you know,
little
So Def started downstairs in the mama's basement.
Hey. Here we are right here. Today's show is brought to you by FastSmallSports.com. Y'all tune back in 180 seconds. We be back. We're getting ready to chop it up and look at the top 5 quarterbacks in the draft. Snoop Johnson and Alan Branch going to give their opinions and thoughts. As usual, we probably won't agree, but we both got an angle. Back in 180 seconds with more Lone Star Sports Show. Hey, here we are back here in North Texas. All things sports, all things Texas. Today's show is brought to you by FastSmallSports.com. You got Alan Branch and Snoop Johnson right here live on the set. Man, got a lot going on, like we said in the first segment, in the state of Texas. Got some serious things going on in the world of basketball right here on Basketball Thursday. But we got to give just due to what's going on in the Metroplex with the draft. You know, we don't have the time to sit in and break down and analyze the whole process. But one thing Snoop Johnson and Alan Branch do agree on, that it's hard to win or win big without a quarterback.
That's right.
You got to have a guy, you know, as we said, as a point guard that you can go to sleep on, we like to talk about, you know. That's
well, the New England Patriots go after Lamar Jackson tonight. Intriguing.
That's a great point.
I would love to see Lamar Jackson end up with New England.
Well, you know, Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield are my two favorites. I just believe in gamers and winners.
I like Sam Darnold. I like Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold is probably the USC kid is probably the
most ready.
The most ready on paper and all your analytics and all your prototype and breakdown.
I just watched the game. I watched the film. I watched the game with Sam Darnold, and I think everybody looks at Sam Darnold being at USC that he got all these talent around him. But I don't think I think that's the thing that Sam was missing, that dynamic USC team that some of those other quarterbacks have had in the past, to where they've been a little overrated. Some of those USC quarterbacks have been overrated because they got these dynamic skill position guys.
Right.
I think Sam Darnold has been just the opposite. I think he's been that quarterback who's elevated those other guys. So we're going to see. I mean, I think I'd be surprised if Cleveland pass up on him.
I think the biggest gamble is Josh Allen. The big gun quarterback.
I like Josh Allen for the future.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think he probably could be one of the slower developers. I don't know why the kid at Louisville, everybody is fighting Lamar Jackson, that they're fighting so hard after you get through watching the Watson kid that came from Clemson. They're fighting so hard that he's so far away.
Well, I mean, to their defense, you got a chance to see Deshaun Watson actually sit down in there. I mean, he showed his running ability in college and in the pros. being dynamic. But you actually got a chance to watch Deshaun throw it a little bit more on the biggest stage, and I think Lamar Jackson, the bigger the game was, I think he did more running.
How good was the Cunningham guy that came from UNLV that played for the Eagles?
You say who?
Cunningham played for the Eagles.
Randall
Cunningham. How good a quarterback was he, Coach?
I thought Randall was a pretty good
solid,
quarterback.
Solid NFL.
I think he became better.
Right. Okay.
If you look at Randall Cunningham in his last few years in Philly and then all those years in Minnesota, I mean, he's pretty doggone good passer.
Yeah. Right. And I feel like watching Randall at UNLV and coming out in the same situation that the kid at Louisville, Lamar Jackson.
I think Lamar Jackson is.
More dynamic.
I think times have changed and people are starting to get a little bit more, getting a little bit more acquainted with the new way, the new offenses. I think you go after dynamic players, and I think that's where Lamar Jackson is a top 5 pick. He's dynamic. Yeah. He's dynamic.
He's a top 5 quarterback pick.
No, he's a top 5 pick. And the reason I say that's what you're looking for, a dynamic player. Mm-hmm. And my thing, if you look at the Super Bowl champion, mm-hmm. okay, Nick Foles been in the league for a little while. Mm-hmm. Okay, Nick Foles hadn't had but one year as a Pro Bowler. Mm-hmm. All right, but what did Philadelphia do that made Nick Foles become so dynamic? They altered the system to his strengths.
Yeah.
My thing is,
systems always got to go with the personnel.
Okay,
that's one thing we agree on.
That's what I'm saying. So my thing is, you tell me, that's what hurt Buffalo with Tyrod Taylor. They started off with Tyrod Taylor. They catered the system to him, and the thing is, he kept them in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
In the East.
I agree. I mean,
the one thing they never got him was a legitimate passing game.
Yeah.
You know?
I was such a big Joe Montana fan. Probably Joe Montana, probably one of my.
I'm telling you, I think the kid, if he get in the right situation, I think the kid from UCLA, I don't think he's as smart as Joe, but just like we talked about that one night, I forgot what the conversation was about, but Joe is just like this guy. This guy, he gets it done because of his high IQ of the game. Yeah. His knowledge of the game, not as physically gonna woo you, not the 70-yard pass.
Yeah, I mean Montana didn't run a 4.40 or anything,
or have a cannon on.
No, have a cannon on.
But he won 5 Super Bowls, didn't he?
Yeah. Okay. Make plays, Coach. I mean, you won a lot of games.
He knew where he needed to go with the ball.
Yeah, and he had the what I call the moxie, the composure.
Yeah, that's what this kid has.
Exactly.
You remember when this kid came back on A&M?
Yeah.
UCLA early in the year, A&M was killing them. Early in the year, and this probably the game that ended it for Kelvin Summerlin.
Right.
Because they had just after they had just lost a big one to Maryland at home. Mm-hmm. No, that was Texas that lost to Maryland. But A&M had just blew a game the week before that, a comeback win at home. Mm-hmm. Now they went on the road against UCLA in a big national television game, and they was running the score up on UCLA. And next thing you know, boom, 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 here comes Josh Rosen.
Well, the thing is, and this is basketball, football, baseball pitchers, big time baseball hitters, golfers, and we that gene, that ability, in my 30-some years as an adult of being able to observe winners, the things slow down for them when the game gets on the line.
Right.
They get comfortable. I mean, I watch your teams. I've watched just tons of teams. We talk about Joe Montana. We're talking about football. Roger Staubach. Do you remember the kind of points that Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson and Tony Hill and Billy Joe Dupree? You remember the amount of points they could score? That's a little bit too far to you?
No.
I mean, remember that?
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter. Late in the fourth quarter.
You knew it was going to happen.
You knew it was going to happen.
That's the problem. That's the thing. You knew it was going to happen.
And you couldn't do much about it.
Nah.
Because they made you make a choice.
But, Coach, those guys, the one thing about the quarterback position that we underrate sometimes, and maybe we're not underrating it, but I'm just using it as a figure of speech. Mm-hmm. The one thing that we underrate is that quarterback is just as good as the supporting cast, Coach.
Well,
he's not throwing it to himself.
Yeah,
I mean, the timing. You got to have guys like Montana had guys that he knew was going to be open. That's why he could throw it to a spot.
Yeah.
If he threw it to a spot and didn't know that Jerry Rice was going to create separation, or John Taylor was going to create separation, or Britt Jones, or he could throw it out there. If those guys not open, I could throw it over to Roger Craig, and he could still go get me 40.
Coach, I've been there before.
Yeah.
I was there in October.
Yeah.
In the Cotton Bowl.
That's why I think the Cowboys want to go back to. I think they learned a lot about Dak Prescott last year in those 3 or 4 games.
Dak Prescott is one of those kind of guys.
Those 3 or 4 games that Dez Bryant was out last year, I think they learned a lot about him because those were Dak Prescott's biggest statistical games with Dez out. And what was the reason? Because he was moving the ball around. Yeah. Hitting open man, going through his progressions.
Going through his progressions on his reads and stuff.
And in their eyes, in the Cowboys' eyes, with what they did with Dez Bryant, they're showing that they're looking at Dak Prescott saying he didn't regress. We slowed down his progress.
Right.
They don't know. They don't see if they felt like he regressed, they would have blamed that on the Dez season, and they would have kept Dez. With them cutting Dez, they saying Dak didn't regress.
Yeah.
We just didn't allow him to progress.
Coach, when you're dropping the ball,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the argument is about.
Yeah, no.
I don't even know what the argument is about.
It's a heck of a deal. And I think the other thing that you have to look at is how much pressure should you put on a rookie quarterback? How good does a rookie quarterback have to be coming out of college, coming in his rookie year? How good does he have to be to show promise and a good future? I think sometimes in microwave society, we put so much pressure and so much money involved, and guys are making so much money, we think that, that means that he's got to win a Super Bowl in his rookie year. I mean, there has to be a 1, 2, and 3. Like we say, we're looking at the quarterback that the Cowboys have now, a young quarterback going into year 3, right? Mm-hmm. And they kept the game simple in year 1. Year 2, he was without a Zeke, with all the stuff that went on with Zeke. And he fought through all of that and should be coming back into a really good situation this year. But, I'm a big Baker Mayfield guy.
Yeah.
He's 6'3". I'm assuming that's exactly how tall. I never had a chance to be in his presence. I always like to be around guys to see exactly how tall they really are.
Yeah.
Because, them guys get on their keyboard, start typing.
I like to see a guy like Baker Mayfield in a better situation than
Cleveland. Nobody want to go to Cleveland.
Well, no, and Cleveland could be a little bit better than people think they are because they got Josh Gordon for a full year now. Mm-hmm. They got Josh. They got their running back. Now they still might take the kid Saquon Barkley, but they don't have to take Saquon
Barkley is the kid over at Georgia.
No, that's old Chubb. You got a Saquon Barkley is the kid at Penn State.
Right. Oh, yeah. Boy, he's a dynamic running back.
See, Cleveland got the first and the fourth.
He's a dynamic running back, too.
Dynamic player. That's what I'm saying. See, those are the special players that go in the first round. I mean, the top 5 picks are Chubb. You got Chubb. You got Saquon Barkley. You got guys like
all of those guys lay right there in the process, and you look at it, and I think you have to look at guys' ability to come up big in pressure situations, to be involved and be able to create, be able to make plays when the game's on the line. There's going to be a transition to the NFL. You're talking about a faster game. But before we go to break and we conclude our whole deal, I'm going Baker Mayfield 1A and the kid at Lamar Jackson 1B. You can pick it however you want. I feel like potentially going to have. I do agree with the USC situation.
I think someone going to surprise you with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
This is why I say that, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson, first of all, I think it's a promise there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar went in, okay, you don't go in representing yourself, you and your mother, if you ain't feeling good about it.
What's going to happen.
And you already a guy that people trying to ask to go play another position.
Right. Yeah.
So, there you go. I think it's something there.
Something there. Right here at the Lonestar Sports Show, like I said, a big sports day. We actually get a chance to see right here in the DFW area. All things sports, all things Texas. We know why football is so big. If you won't think it's big, you take you a ride down 30 over there to Jerry's World right now in Arlington, Texas. They'll let you know how big it is.
We're about 33 minutes away.
Yeah. Yep, they're going to be getting in. We're going to find out what's going to happen here in just a little bit.
About 40 minutes, we're going to know who that number 1 pick is.
That's exactly right. Be back with you in 180 seconds with more Lone Star Sports Show. This particular segment was brought to you by Harlem Hotels Investment and Development Company, located right there in Houston, Texas, where they can take a look at how you put your money where you sleep. HardhamHotel.com. Go take a look at their investment plans and their process, and you can actually put your hands on your money and sleep with your money with Hardham Hotels, having the full chain. Take a look at what the plaque is right there on your screen, and you can see the real deal of what is going on with Hardham Hotel. We'll be back with more Lone Star Sports Show. We get ready to dive into some serious issues right here on Basketball Thursday when we come back. Hey, here we are back here at the Hey, here we are rolling back here at the Lone Star Sports Show right here on the Lone Star Sports Network. Today's show is brought to you by FastSmallSports.com. Thanks out to my main man, Ross Comerford, CEO and founder of Fast Small Sports. Go take a look at FastSmallSports.com and see where they're taking basketball to the 21st century through the vehicle of technology.
There's a lot of fast model going on last weekend.
Oh man,
I saw them guys talking about it.
Oh yeah,
A lot of fast model been going on.
That's how you figured it out, Coach.
Yeah, fast model ain't no rookie though either.
No,
He's been around here for a minute.
No, he cut his teeth in the NBA and came down. I just like the innovativeness about him. He's constantly looking at, okay, what's wrong with basketball that I can fix?
Right.
And I'm not talking about basketball, but the operational nature. What can I provide as a service? And that's what made him what he is, that would help these guys be more comfortable and more efficient in doing their job.
Right.
You know, so I mean that's a tremendous thing and a smart thing as a business guy, and we're just glad that we got him on our side, Coach.
No
Coach,
doubt.
Coach, we got the NBA playoffs going on. The Rockets step right up and come to the front of the process, and you know we only have one Texas team standing, and you know I'm predicting that Utah is gonna finish OKC off.
I know about that, Coach.
They got to do a lot coming back, Coach. They had them down 3-1.
Yeah.
You just got one. Yeah. I mean, and they got to play the game, but I don't see it. You know. I mean, and you know. I mean, have it the way you want. I mean, I don't have any preference about that. We got the one thing about it, you got Golden State and New Orleans sitting there
ready to roll.
Now,
this is the thing. Okay, you remember the year when LeBron was down 3-1 and Draymond Green went against Golden State and Draymond Green got suspended the game and everything? Okay, all it took was Cleveland figuring out, you know, a a style of play that's bothering Golden State. And I think when OKC was down 24 points, and they basically had said it's over, but we just finna go. We ain't going out like that.
Right.
I think they basically went back to that formula, and you got to let Russ be Russ. And what he has, he got a better cast around him. Let him be Russ. See, you got to realize last year when Russ wheeled those guys to the playoffs last year, even though he's a one-man band, what happened is Russ made a lot of passes out. Those guys didn't make shots. He got some shot makers. He got some shot makers over here.
No, he got two guys that know what they're doing.
Now what you got with Paul George is you can actually take Russ out for a minute and let Paul go off. But I'm saying, wow, even with Paul and all those guys in, when Russ is not being the aggressor, Russ is not.
I mean, that's the only thing. That's who Russ. That's who he is.
He's not a superstar when he's not doing that.
No, I mean that's the only way
he made it hard on Utah when he decided I'm gonna be Russ, and if I'm gonna go out being Russ.
And the way that I see Oklahoma City, which I think they have a nice team. When I see Oklahoma City and I look at a guy like Russell Westbrook, all the triple doubles and stuff, I'm not questioning his talent and his ability by any deal, but I think that players like Russ have to have a stabilizing, I'm gonna say, point guard.
I think they need that. I think they need that as well.
Somebody that can pull it back and slow him down.
But right now,
he knows no way but full steam ahead.
Right now, but I'm saying right now, I would let him do that. But
there are going to be games that he's going to need to that needs to be managed.
Well, the coaches can figure that out. They can figure that out. But this is my thing.
Coach, you ain't no stopping Russell Westbrook when he get that basketball, Coach.
Okay, but I don't want him to stop. Coach, let me tell you this. What you got to do with Russ, you got to realize Russ made it hard on some people last year. He came up short because he didn't have guys to make shots. Okay? Russ was putting 40 and 50 it up. And
he needs some guys to space the floor a little bit for him.
Well, I mean, and then when he make that pass, it ain't like Russ wouldn't make that pass.
Yeah, he passes well out in necessity.
But I want Russ being in Mamba mentality. I want him going in score mode. I don't want him to turn into Rondo. I don't want him to be Chris Paul.
Oh, he's never going to be that. Yeah, I mean, that's not who he is. I totally agree with that.
I don't want him to be them guys, but I do want him to be. I do want him to be a matchup problem. That's what I want him to be.
Coach, he's a matchup problem when he gets off the plane.
But I'm saying, but if you look at Russ, though, when Russ go out there and try to figure out how to play, and I'm playing this way and I'm playing that way, Russ, that's why he misses so many shots early, because he's not in Russ mode.
Yeah, and I think
when Russ get in Russ mode, Coach, he turned the party out.
No, and I believe that, and I mean, I think it's almost like a concert, Coach. He needs that opening act to lay it out there for him, so that he kicks in and gets in rhythm, and he doesn't have to just utilize so many possessions trying to find himself.
Right. Hey, Coach, I want to send a shout out to This Week in Sports. This Week in Sports, appreciate y'all. Appreciate you chiming in, and we do take your comments over here at the Lonestar Sports Show. So just send your comments. We appreciate you chiming in on the show
and if
right now.
you got a legitimate opinion, we'll take your call 713-392. 1930. You got Snoop Johnson and Alan Branch right here giving it to you. All things sports, all things Texas, right here in Oak Cliff, Texas. Getting it all in. Today's show is brought to you by FastSmallSports.com.
Golden State gonna have hell, Coach. If Steph Curry don't put his uniform on, they gonna have hell over there, Coach.
Steph Curry got to put his uniform on.
He got to put his uniform on against them folks.
Okay, I mean, you can only go so long on a twisted ankle. We got to tape it up and tie your shoe up, son. Let's go a little bit more.
I'm gonna tell you what. That man has almost put that team together just like they put it together in Golden State. Let me say that. I know Drew Holiday had big game, but, Coach, they got a couple of other shot makers over there. They can end up with 27, 28 points if you get to saying, well, let's just take him out the game. The reason Drew Holiday can do that is because those guys and their analytics tell them to stay with him because that's what he is, a shooter. Stay with him because that's what he is, a shooter.
I agree with that. I mean, I see exactly where you're coming from, and what your angle is on all of that.
This thing is getting good. The West and the East is getting good.
No,
both sides is getting good.
It really is, and I'm all the way on board with you with where it's going. It's going against good matchups. I think the Rockets are hard to beat. Being a little bit of a homer. They'll be where they need to be, and whoever comes out of that situation with New Orleans. I think Rondo provides the same thing that I'm saying that Oklahoma City doesn't have.
I'm here.
That stabilizing guy. Coach, I mean, how many times have you been coaching a game and you just wanted somebody to go get the ball?
Yeah.
We go get the ball. Okay, let's take a shot and do what we want to do. Let's take the best, smartest shot.
Only difference between Rondo, Rondo is still a ball dominant guard. You know, he likes to set up and run it. I mean,
you see it going on with Chris Paul and James Harden.
Yeah,
James Harden is a gunner just like.
But the difference is that Chris Paul can play off the ball. You see how well Chris Paul is shooting the basketball?
Yeah.
Chris Paul can turn into a catch and shoot guy.
Yeah,
you know, he can turn into Mark Price if you need him to now.
And that's the versatility. But he also has the IQ.
That's the word. Freeze it. Just move on to something else. The IQ.
Right.
Don't even mess it up.
Let's go to the East.
You said it. He got the IQ.
Right.
And that's what Russ needs. And Russ don't have that. Mm-hmm. You got to realize Russ got Carmelo.
Yeah.
Carmelo ain't been the smartest player. He ain't been known as the smartest basketball player.
No, just score.
He been a high-volume scorer.
Yeah.
Paul George, a two-way guy. Defense, I'm going to take your best guy, and I'm going to score.
And that's exactly what I'm saying is that.
He's a high IQ. The guy with the highest IQ probably is Miles Turner.
Yeah. But, you know, and that's the crazy part, and you've heard me say it tons of times. Every race car needs a steering wheel.
That's right. Then you got Studs boy over there on the side of him.
Oh, man, he's nuts.
No. But he's the heartbeat.
Oh, no. I mean, he's a guy, you know what I mean?
He's the heartbeat.
You know, that New York City stuff, boy. I mean, you know, we talking about Stevens. What's his name? Lance Stevens.
He's going to make him compete, Coach. You got to have somebody on your team like that.
One of the few guys that has gotten up in LeBron.
Sometimes you got to have guys that make the rest of the team tougher. Mm-hmm. He makes them feel tougher.
Yep. No.
I mean, have you ever went in there? You know, when you go like when we was growing up and we left from over here and we went over to went to Keys Park or Redbird or somewhere, and you got your buddies with you. You know, you can talk noise.
Oh yeah.
Because one thing about it, if we get into a fight, he gonna jump in with me.
Yeah.
They got Lance Stevenson, Coach.
Yeah. No, Lance.
So everybody on that team, you watch Miles Turner. Everybody talking noise over there.
Oh yeah, we know. Miles must know he got some backup.
He got some back.
Got Miles don't want to fight nobody.
Got Trevor Booker sitting over there. Every time something go on, Trevor Booker the first one to step on the bench with his chest up.
His chest out. Yeah. Miles get feeling about looking around and this. I might be all right if things get out of hand.
I love it. I love the intensity of the playoffs right now. I love that these younger guys are taking it personal. Like they're getting tired of hearing the older guys talk about how physical and chippy it was in the playoffs.
Right.
And they trying to play old school playoff basketball.
Yeah, they trying to bring some energy and
they're
bring
conscious,
some toughness to
They're conscious of the things that's being said right now. This is telling you that these younger kids or these younger players are more conscious of what's going on. Look at what LeBron and them did with the All-Star game.
Yep.
How competitive it was.
Right.
Okay, that thing trickles down.
They don't want to see that.
The McDonald's game was competitive this year.
Right. Well, even the group that y'all took down to Houston with the.
Do you think you know where they got that from? Watching LeBron.
Yeah. And the kids, you have to respect them, and I call them kids. It's generation or whatever.
Well, those are kids.
Yeah. Is that they don't want the old guys sitting around saying that their brand of basketball is soft.
It's soft.
Right.
Speaking of that, I'm excited about Cade Cunningham.
Moved up to 17.
Going to 17 U to
Hey, shout out to Drive Nation and Jermaine O'Neal and y'all making the right deal. That was huge for that kid's career. He needs that.
That's huge for Drive Nation.
Yeah, it's huge for Texas basketball, the whole 9 yards. Cade Cunningham, 6'7", 6'8", swingman over at Arlington Bowie.
That's almost our starting five down there in Showcase Houston.
Showcase Houston.
They need to go pick up Rod Wright.
They go Rod Wright.
I need to talk to them guys about it.
They might need to figure out how to get it lined up.
They can't go up there and go 500 this week. I got to get Rod Wright on the roster. Yeah, coaching staff.
That group there, they ought to be able to go 75. Yeah. We go 3 out 3 for 4.
Bad boys out there, coach.
No, that's a nice group, but it's a deal. I watched Jermaine. He was coaching him and some of the things he was talking to him about. And I think he's, because of all his years in the NBA, he's a little ahead of him. You stand there with it.
You know the thing that I hate right now. I hate that Samuel Williamson is kind of balling himself up right now. He was in route of his that aggression. That aggressive play.
Maybe he want to go jump on a plane, man, and go to Indianapolis the weekend.
Yeah.
But
I mean, with all the talent around him, see, the one thing about it, with all the talent, you got to have somebody that levels everything out, and the guy that does it is Samuel Williams.
Don't be surprised I don't catch me a private plane out here, Coach. Because it's a reason. I mean, because you got to go up there and take a look at this thing. I love to see them in a national situation. Really know what they're made out of. We run up on a break right here like that. My man Snoop Johnson always say we need to go pay some bills right now. We got the Lone Star Sports Show right here on the Lone Star Sports Network. Snoop Johnson, Alan Branch, Lady Life, and the Prince, Honey You Money, giving it to you like it is. All things sports, all things Texas, right here on Basketball Thursday. Dropping it to you real good.
Pop that up.
Giving it like it really is.
Like that
Today's show is brought to you by FastSmallSports.com. This particular segment is brought to you by Playbank. Go take a look at FastSmallSports.com. All you coaches at every level, go take a look at Playbank. Go educate yourself. Can't coach any better if you don't get any better. Can't do better till you know better, coach.
In there,
Back in 180 seconds with more Lone Star Sports Show. Hey, here we are back here at the Lone Star Sports Show. All things sports, all things Texas. Snoop Johnson and Alan Branch giving it to you like it is. Lady Life and Honey You Money, the Prince. Keeping things between the lines over there right there on live on the Lone Star Sports Network on YouTube Live. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 to 8, breaking sports down of all facets, basketball, football, baseball, everything that's going on in the world between high school all the way to the professional level. Giving you our perspective on it. Come listen to some of the interesting guests that we have on. Got some more serious basketball topics in the direction that everything's going. But we got to get over to the East a little bit. We don't want to neglect the East or what's going on, even though we don't have any Texas teams in the East. We still like to talk about it. My young guys are doing exactly what I thought they would do, Coach. The Philadelphia 76ers. Okay. They did all the tanking and lined it all the way up. I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be right there, Coach. When it's all said and done.
That's how you called it.
That's how I called it.
Okay.
Coach. It'll go on the record. I called it that way.
I don't remember it, but
you don't remember?
No.
You get amnesia now, man. I know how Snoop Johnson boy get lined up, boy. You get amnesia.
I just don't remember you calling it. Coach.
You don't remember me calling it? We're gonna go back, man. Go back and figure it out.
Yeah, you say so.
No, I was with the 76ers, Coach.
Okay.
I was with the 76ers. I went Boston right here. And you kind of question that, me going against the Greek.
Oh, you talking about picking the game, the series.
Right.
I thought you were talking about how you picked. I thought you were saying that you picked them last year to I thought you picked them last year to
oh, no. I wasn't that far.
That they was going to come back this year and be and be a super team like this.
Coach, we got somebody on the line, Coach. We got the hat on the line. I know his number. I got the driver license with that 777 number on it. We got the hat on it. They don't realize I got two driver licenses there, Jimmy Hicks. Right now we got Jimmy Hicks with RCS Sports right here. Me and this man right here, we cut our teeth in the business right down there in the Bayou City.
Y'all make sure, Lady
Harris
Life,
County.
Lady Life,
Well, look at it.
make sure y'all get Jimmy picture up there.
Well,
Make sure y'all get Jimmy Hicks picture up there.
They get rough on me when I start talking about Houston stuff up here. They run me back down there.
No,
I can get back in the Fifth Ward.
We got all these
y'all
guys.
make it too hard on me.
We got all these other guests.
I can go over there on Hall Street. I got two or three houses I can knock on the door over there.
When all these guests come on, we put their picture. I got to have my boy picture up there.
Yeah, you go put the picture up. They already did the research. They on top of that. Jimmy be popped up there in a little bit.
They just got to hit the button.
They got to hit the button.
All they got to do is hit the button over here at the Lonestar Sports Show.
So, Jimmy, glad to have you on, man. How you doing today?
Oh man, what's going on, guys?
Man, we sitting here. We're gonna let you jump in on a little of this NBA talk before we get to some more serious matters.
Before you get into the serious matters, are you at Phil and Darius?
No, not at Phil and Darius. I'm at another happy hour spot.
He got a spot now. You're talking to the guy that's the king of the spots.
No, Jimmy the spot man.
He's spot man.
No, he's spot man.
Anytime you go to Houston and you need a concierge service and you want to know exactly where you need to be doing what you want to be doing and what your liking is, there's not a better guy. No matter what your liking is, from country and western to jazz to hip hop or food, eating or whatever, Jimmy is a connoisseur, and that's his city down there. Houston, Texas.
Where you at today, Jim?
Man, you can't. I tell you where I've been. I ain't gonna tell you where I'm at. I'm over right. I'm right in the shadows of the Galleria right now.
Oh, okay.
I can tell you where he is.
Wait a minute. I gotta talk to our show producers over there. Now, we got Jimmy's picture up there. Is Jimmy accepting an award or something right here?
He got him somewhere there. You know, they give Jimmy a couple of awards around there. Jimmy working his way around with the ABC, the local affiliate with ABC Channel 13 down there. He goes on and does some high school basketball, Greater Houston stuff when the playoffs come along.
Jimmy either receiving an award or he giving one away. I see him with the mic in his hand on the picture.
Look like he's getting one of them pyramid awards. Let me take a look at that. Where is that, Jimmy? I can tell you. Oh no, that's his portfolio, his phone he got in here. I thought you had one of them pyramid. Down in Houston, they got a pyramid business award for the in the black community. They give out for the people that's more influential in the process. But
Jim, hey, I got the magic questions for y'all.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's go. I ordered the food, so I got a food before they bring the food. Let's get straight to it. Okay, the NCAA commission report from yesterday.
That went right by the NBA. Go ahead, Coach.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
60 pages.
They shot a dart and directly basically put everybody on notice that in 2019 that they're going to wipe out July for certified events unless it's their own.
Mm-hmm.
So now what's the plan of action for event operators in July?
Mm-hmm.
Because sooner or later, July is coming first. So if they're going to do July, then what do you think is going to be next?
April. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Right. There's no doubt. You know, we remember when they wiped out April and it was only July. So when
they wiped out March. March was first, and what they did back in the days, the NCAA they left it on the mercy of the
high school
federation to certify events in their own state.
That's the way it was when we first started. That's when the icebreaker was live.
The spring icebreaker used to be live. A lot of people did not know that.
Right there at Straight Jesuit High School. That's correct.
And so afterwards, shortly afterwards, and guess what? It didn't go because the NCAA they thought and hoped that the state federations would deny or make it extremely tough to certify events. They didn't really. They thought everybody they were going to deny everybody. But then the high school federations, such as the UIL in Texas, hell, they realized they can get a little bread with $250 for the cost to register a live event.
That's correct.
And it would go from there, and it backfired.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can see this stuff coming, and you noticed another name I mentioned on the Chop Shop on yesterday, and you see every now and then they come up with different coded words.
Mm-hmm.
So yourself, Branch,
mm-hmm.
Snoop,
mm-hmm.
myself, most people or most powers that be
mm-hmm.
in youth amateur basketball, whether it be event operator or coach or whatnot,
mm-hmm.
you notice they have one word they have another title for us now.
What is that word?
We are called all through the report. You will see that word, and if your antenna not up, it'll go right by you. We are now referred to as third parties.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're the third parties stage now. Whether
Right.
you like it or not, you go and say, well, I ain't no third party. You're the third party.
Yeah.
And that's what encompasses everything.
And
now,
go ahead.
I mean, now you're in a situation where they're putting you on the clock and they're telling you they're coming. Well, we knew they were coming already. And I say as taken away, because think about it. Now, Vegas is basically after this is going to be the last lap around the track.
Oh, going to Vegas.
For Vegas. Remember, Adidas has already extracted themselves from Vegas.
Well, the referee association extracted them, but go ahead.
The referee association says what now?
I said the Las Vegas Referee Commission Association of officials refused to officiate any more Adidas affiliated events. So they kind of got put out. They can play basketball. They got to bring their own referees.
Well, I know Hal Pastner for years. He used to have a lot of his own refs would come fly in from Texas. But Adidas, that's a whole different thing. But my point is, they're gone now. So now the Fab 48. We're just talking about Vegas now. We'll talk backwards. To begin with, because those events collectively.
It started at the third period and work our way back to the first period. Right.
Yeah, that's the most teams collectively
in one place,
one city at one time.
That's correct.
So that's why we're giving them. We're talking about them because it hits them the hardest.
That's right.
Now, and they collectively charge the most for their entry fees. But that's not here or there. But the thing is, now they're going to get. Adidas is gone now, so there's no sneaker event in Dallas this summer during the last live period. You have, and so now then you go. That if you're not innovative, you're going to get washed away, and you'll be sitting by the shore after this stuff is over with. I'm telling you right now, if you're an event operator, you need to get really innovative.
I know exactly where you're going.
With this, I'm telling you what's going to happen.
Technology.
Otherwise, I say, I'm telling you. And one thing I mentioned is I'm looking at them like, wait a minute. Some few people around the room laughed at the guys holding these cameras. But guess what? More and more coaches, college coaches, Division I coaches, are watching non-live period games via
streaming, live streaming.
They're watching this stuff. I was just one of the coaches from Baylor just tore his ACL or something 2 weeks ago.
Achilles, yep, right.
And he had surgery and he couldn't go on the road this past weekend. So I teased him. I say, well, hey, you went and tricked and faked the injury so you wouldn't have to go work on the road.
Yeah, you sit there and watch it on the big screen.
He said, no. I had to watch every kid that was on my list. I watched them all live via streaming on the computer. I say, wow. I said, did you really watch it? He said, I watched every doggone game.
I had three requests, Jimmy, for the Lonestar Challenge of how can we watch the game. Just random emails into the Texas Grassroots Basketball email account of how can we watch the game online. And so, I mean, it is becoming the next piece of it, of the fact that now we're going to put cameras on every court, and it's going to turn into that kind of a situation and the production. And, I mean, that's one of the things that I often thought about. I don't know how much I share this with Snoop. I know I've talked to Ani about it. It's where the Lone Star Sports Network piece is going to eventually take a role in the process of being that, or the platform in which we may offer that streaming. But that's definitely – you're definitely right about that.
Coach, that's one of the things that we talked about, Stacey and myself, with the main floor. Because see, I remember when you was talking about this 2 years ago, when you was sitting there saying with this BBCS, this
basketball certification,
basketball certification stuff with the U.S. basketball and all that stuff.
Right.
You say, hey, he said, Coach, y'all don't realize it yet, that they trying to weave this situation on out.
The same thing. That's what Jimmy's saying right now.
I'm saying with the main floor, just what you was just talking about. How many coaches would pay for the one main court with back-to-back games being streamed? Now you're not paying for all them cameras. Because see, they don't want to see all them courts.
Right. No. and the interesting part about it is now with Apple TV, because I do it all the time, and I'm watching tape and watching games and stuff. I can mirror with the ability to mirror. You can mirror that stuff right up on your 55-inch television, sit back in your chair and get a good clean look at it, you know, and with the ability to preserve it. So, I mean, it's definitely going to get interesting, Jimmy. We're going to come back and just talk about how did this thing get where it got to. We got to run the break for about 180 seconds here and come back and talk some more. You going to be able to stay with us for another segment, Coach?
I got one more segment in me. Y'all, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, we're right here at the Lone Star Sports Show right here in North Texas, getting it in where it's supposed to be. Today's show is brought to you by FastSmallSports.com, but this particular segment is brought to you by Hartem Hotels Investment and Development. Put your money where you sleep. Go take a look at HartemHotel.com, and you can see how you can make your money grow while you're sleeping awake. 80% fulfillment rates of all of what's going on in the process. They got capacities. You can read the whole graph. You can see everything that's going on in their process. Back in 180 seconds with more Basketball Thursday right here on the Lone Star Sports Show. We got Jimmy Hicks tuned in with us. We got my main man, Snoop Johnson, Lady Life, Honey and Money, the Prince, keeping us where we're supposed to be, and yours truly, Alan Branch. Right back. North Texas, all things sports, all things Texas, getting in right here on the Lone Star Sports Show on the Lone Star Sports Network. Snoop Johnson, Lady Life, and Honey with Money, and special guest Jimmy Hicks with RCS Sports, and also host of the Chop Shop right there, based in Houston.
There you go. There you go with that. There we go with that, Coach.
We ain't got time for that, Coach. We got business to take care
I'm
of.
just saying, hey, I'm saying.
But one of the things that you brought up, and I was going to bring up, we talked about at the break there, and I'm going to give it right back here on the platform with our listeners, and is that you looking at a situation with grassroots basketball, which we know involves thousands and thousands of boys and girls between the ages of 9 and 18. Youth sport tourism is a $8 billion a year business, and the point that Jimmy made at the break, I totally agree with, and my angle on it was not one person, and there are plenty of capable people in the grassroots business that should have been invited, they call us third parties, should have been invited to be a part of that panel. But then Jimmy Hicks made a great point. I'm finna let him elaborate on it. Not one time did they choose to come into the community, have a town hall meeting, and let's hear the third party, the overall masses of this operation, give their opinion and their experience of the whole deal. And I mean, what do you think about that, Jimmy? Give me some feedback. And
That's a good hashtag. I'm gonna start hashtagging that third party.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go from trust my eyes to third party. I'm gonna start calling myself third party.
They didn't put the label on you already.
I know it.
Go ahead, Hicks.
And that's exactly what you think about it. You're talking about a commission, and we got that's spearheaded by Condoleezza Rice, and you have David Robinson and Grant Hill and all these other guys.
Yeah, you got
that's great and fine and dandy. The
you got
only
two fired coaches, Montgomery and
yeah,
the third,
and John Thompson the 3rd,
Mhm.
and they're the closest thing
Two
that has been stepped foot in that's even saw one of these NCAA certified events in the past 5 years.
Yeah, and nobody that's ever operated an NCAA certified event for them to make the statement. And Jimmy and I can go back and forward because we have a lot of experience and information on this. Nobody was brought on for them to make the statement that these things are loosely handled and not monitored and nothing goes on. Well, you and I both, if nobody else knows, Jimmy Hicks and Alan Branch both know they're extremely monitored.
Well, one thing I know, Coach, is that I know we sitting right here close at home talking. We keep saying, Snoop Johnson, Jimmy Hicks, Alan Branch. There's a lot of other folks gonna get touched too now.
No, it's all the way across the field. You got Dinos and you got Gary Charles. You got Antonio Carroll.
You got Nike. You got Adidas.
This thing is going.
A lot of people gonna get touched
across the board.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it goes all the way across the board.
My thing is that, like you say, be innovative. And sit back and let the process take care of itself.
Yep. Well, I give John Urie. I'm gonna give him props right here on the air. John Urie.
You ain't gotta go hire no lawyer. Let them hire the lawyers. Let them do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's no doubt about that you're gonna. And we've seen storms
before. What you say about John Urie? He said
John Urie came to me probably about 10 days ago and said, "Branch, y'all are gonna have to get smart with this deal, man. I don't know why y'all don't think about some of the same things that we're talking about right now."
Yeah.
And I like to take the Trojan horse approach, but right now the soldiers are out of the Trojan horse now, so we might well go ahead and let it go. Really get your stick and start fighting. Yeah. But
y'all know what it is.
But Jimmy, elaborate about a town hall or how you would potentially envision them traveling to a L.A., to a Houston, to a Dallas, to a New York, to a Philly, to a Chicago, to Atlanta, Georgia, and where the masses of these grassroots entities reside, and having any kind of response. I mean, we're not on the committee. Nobody came to the community and said this is what we're going to do. It's just happening. Give me your thoughts about that, Jimmy.
Well, you think about it like this. First of all, this commission was basically inspired by whom?
By the NCAA. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it shouldn't become a total surprise to anyone. Mm-hmm. that this commission did not one of its recommendations is spearheaded or geared or aimed at the money and the revenues. For the first time, the NCAA they earned over $2 billion for the first time in 2017. That was last year. Now the numbers aren't even in for this fiscal year, but for the first time ever, I say it again, over $1 billion profit.
That's right.
For the NCAA. So now you look at all of the escalating salaries of the college coaches. You have college coaches. I'm not even talking about we can go football if you want to, where some coaches are making in excess of $10 million a year for a select few in NCAA football. Think about this. $10 million a year.
That's right.
That's what Nick Saban is estimated at.
Right. And
basketball,
estimation is exactly right.
Coach K, there's a couple in basketball that there's a select few that are over $5 million per year annually.
Coach K doing about $8 million himself.
Yeah.
Understand something. The escalated salary. Think about it. Where we were. Just think about it. Just 10 years ago, these guys were The top shelf coaches were barely making over $1 million a year just 10 years ago.
So we're talking about a 300 to 400 to 500% increase in salaries at the higher Power 5 level.
And so what they're doing is they're finding ways. They're running out of ways to hide. That's where the money went. Instead of we are going to pay these guys. They didn't even address that. Now I understand why they didn't address. I'm talking about the commission, the paying of student athletes, because there's current litigation on the dockets for courts, and one case is going to come up in December that involves Nigel Hayes, who's the former star at Wisconsin, went to the Final Four twice. He plays briefly for the New York Knicks this season. Toward the end, he played in the G League. But remember Nigel Hayes? He basically he's on this case,
Mhm.
and he's not the only one. He's a co-defendant on this case, and the same judge that awarded all of the merits to the Ed O'Bannon case.
Mhm.
Of course, the two main things were stripped
Mhm.
by the Supreme Court, and that was the paying of $5,000 or more.
Mhm.
That was stripped, but she initially granted in favor of the Ed O'Bannon.
Yeah.
This is the same judge
Right.
that's going to hear this thing. They're set on the docket for December.
Mhm.
So think about it. I understand the commission. They don't want to speak on this. They don't want to rule on this because if they did, it would tie themselves in a knot. It would make them basically
With the litigation process, right?
Absolutely. So that's probably one of the reasons why you didn't see them address this. But the other stuff, the money, talking about following the money. So understand, not their flawed rules in the NCAA.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The rules are flawed.
Yeah, no, they're flawed. They're
and
one-sided. Is not in interest. Mm-hmm.
This commission is spearheaded by the NCAA. So
Right.
you don't expect them to go and make it tough on the same people who are basically giving them a budget and giving them a per diem and a little love
Operating
offering,
expenses, right?
a little love offering. They say in Southern churches, we got what they call a love offering.
Yeah, we passed the plate.
And that's what is going on.
Man,
it is
believable.
unbelievable.
I agree
So
with you.
you go in there, you shoot around these because it's still at the end of the day, these young people are sitting there playing, and you see some of the uncovering of the money of all this, the revenue they're generating.
No.
And now you go and you say third parties are that's the success of it. Okay, wait a minute. No matter how let me tell you something, man. NCAA. No matter how they like it, and some of the people know it.
Mm-hmm.
People of influence are going to always be there.
That's what I was looking to say right there.
You can't stop.
There you go. People
influence.
of influence. People of influence.
They could try that shit. They could try that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to stop the influence.
There you
It's
go.
going to always be there. You know why? Because the NCAA is not in Third Ward.
No.
The NCAA is not in Oak
Cliff.
Cliff.
That's
The
right.
NCAA is not in nobody's hood.
That's right. That's right. They're not where the kids come from. Right.
They not there when the lights cut off in some of these kids and they ain't got no power and they ain't got but one pair of socks and they got a hole in one of them. And
Yeah. When they start
there.
drinking the water over the cereal with no milk. Right.
So that's where influence comes from.
Yeah. No, they don't
Whether
want.
they like
They
it
don't want to
or
look at it
not.
all. They not want to look at the reality of it all. They came out. They started with the stipend to kind of pacify the pain of the athletes and what was going on there. That was supposed to kind of make everybody get off of the fact. And now they're saying, you know what we got to do? We got to go in here and we got to cut these guys, so-called third parties, out of the mix.
So we gotta get our producers to make sure when they type this up at the end of the show that they subtitle this "Listen to Jimmy Hicks preach." I didn't know Jimmy was going to preach.
Oh yeah, no, Jimmy come out of Fifth Water. They got some good sound Baptist churches.
Okay, yeah.
Jimmy mama
Hey,
raised him up.
hey,
Jimmy did a lot of cutting up.
let's
Jimmy had to
make
go to
sure
church on Sunday.
Let's make sure we make this into one of those cut-ups like y'all did with Andrew Jones.
Yeah.
We need to put that out. Jimmy Hicks.
Yeah,
Jimmy Hicks preaches on the Lone Star Sports Show.
Yeah, no, but he preaching real truth. I mean, you know,
No, that's no doubt. No, that's real stuff.
And the thing about it is, this is when y'all need to know that this is serious business.
Yeah.
Is that when Alan Branch and Jimmy Hicks, who have been involved in this process for a lot of years, when we decide to come together and get on the air and start talking about this, it's serious business. It's not entertainment anymore. It's not a joke. It's real business about our young people in our community and the success of their opportunities being managed appropriately about people who really care about them and understand their plight.
Well, my thing is, I don't think at the end of the day that this is going to affect the Allen Branches, Jimmy Hickses, and Snoop Johnsons. The people that's going to affect is going to be the grassroots coaches. That's what's coming.
No, that's one of the things, and Jimmy's probably not going to be around for that subject here. They're going to totally cut them out of the process.
Well, that's what I'm saying. See, that's what they want to go because, see, all Jimmy Hicks and Allen Branch and Snoop Johnson got to do, all of us still have a relationship with the high school coaches.
Yeah,
So
we continue
So
to
somebody
be,
going to coach the kids. Somebody going to coach the kids.
The kids going to play basketball.
Either they're going to play basketball and it's going to be during the high school coaches' time, or they're going to play basketball.
It's kind of like Chris Walker
There you
says,
go.
scholastic basketball turns back around and circles back around. But, you know, this is when you know right here, and I want to say this.
That's what they're trying to take out.
Before Jimmy leaves, this is when you know the NCAA is on a crazy angle on things. To have a rule in the scholastic season of clear separation between the coaches and prospective student athletes, and then turn back around in the high school season and the coaches sit anywhere they want and do anything they want to
sit
do.
anywhere they want to.
Yeah, I mean that is a waste. I mean, that's
crazy.
I mean, what
Yeah,
I mean, Jimmy, have you ever thought about that? What do you think about that before we go to break?
It's crazy.
I posed that question to the NCAA themselves in the past year, and all they can do is shrug their shoulders up and say, you know, we just try to do our best or whatever, and it just shows you how utterly stupid some of the rules are.
And I mean unenforceable. They don't make any sense. They don't. What is the spirit of it? I mean, every rule needs to have a spirit or the agenda of what it's trying to accomplish or what's actually going on. You can't even come up with any kind of legitimacy.
Well, some of these is people that don't know, Coach.
Yeah. Oh,
y'all just talked about it. Who are some of the people that's in these meetings?
Yeah, I mean they just don't have any kind of sound deal about it.
A lot of it is people that don't know.
I mean, I hate it. We're going to break again. We're going to lose Jim Hicks. Jimmy, we really want to appreciate you coming on, man, and jumping in and chiming in. I thought you gave some really, really quality angles.
Jimmy, what you eating, man? You got you some fish and some greens, or what you doing?
No. I'm just chicken winging it right now. You know, NFL draft. They're
yeah. You get that NFL draft.
4 minutes away.
Yeah.
Cleveland is on the clock right now. Less than 4 minutes away. So by the time you guys come from the break, you will probably be able to share the number one pick in the draft, because that's a whole different topic.
That's exactly where we are.
Hold on, Jimmy. I can't let you get off the hook. I always get my man Branch. I get Branch over here. Jimmy got his radio voice on, don't he?
Oh yeah, he got radio voice.
Look at Jimmy, he get in there. Jimmy say, I got right now. I'm just doing some wings right here and there. He's saying the Cleveland Browns are on the clock right now.
His radio voice. So he got a lot of practice.
Well, he know he on the radio. I mean,
doing Bobby Hatter down there. Two hats.
See what I
hat and the hatter.
See now the next time I see Jimmy in one of these events, he have a whole nother voice.
Oh yeah, well that's a part of
entertainment. That's entertainment.
Part of entertainment.
He's part of entertainment now.
Man, thank you so much for coming on, man. We're going to keep on looking at this thing.
You,
hopefully people chiming in. Great knowledge, great information. We get ready to go to break. We want to thank Jimmy Hicks with the Chop Shop coming in and giving us his piece of the pie on this process, which is a very, very influential piece of pie on the deal right now. Lone Star Sports Show right on the Lone Star Sports Network. Stoop Johnson, Lady Life, Honor Your Money, the Prince, keeping us in between the lines. We'll be back in 180 seconds with more Lone Star Sports Show. Today's show is brought to you by FastSmallSports.com. This segment is brought to you by Fast Recruit. Back in 180 seconds with more. Hey, here we are coming off that short break right there. We ran over a little bit with some really quality stuff going on right there. That's one thing I do like about this show is you have the ability to go back and hear and listen. Everything is being recorded for the long-term record. I remember when we first started having roundtables 4 or 5 years ago. You can still go Google and pull up those roundtables with the NCAA and grassroots coaches.
Where can you Google them at, Coach?
On Google, Coach.
I'm talking about, what I'm just putting in roundtable?
Yeah. Basketball roundtable.
Oh, there's a hell of a lot of round tables going on. I mean, it got to be somewhere you can.
Not basketball, Coach. When you put it in, Coach, people that know how to Google, watch.
I mean, there's got to be a whole lot of round tables. I mean, I bet there's more than just y'all.
Watch this right here, Coach. We're going to keep on talking while we're doing it. But at the same time, I mean, what we're dealing with on these situations and what's going on and how the community has the chance to be affected, I wonder really what's going to come out of all of this, Coach. What do you think?
Let me ask you this, Coach. How nervous do you think the Cleveland Browns are right now on the clock? They finally got to the clock. You know, you can play with it all these other weeks, but it's here now. Mm-hmm. How nervous do you think the Cleveland Browns are right now?
Scratching the head, goes.
They got 2 picks in the first 4 rounds.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, first 4 picks. You got 2 of them.
You got 2 of the first.
They got 1 and 4.
No, that's pretty.
They got one of those picks got the hit, Coach.
Yeah, one of them got to work out, or it's gonna be a general manager looking for a job
and a coach. Everybody.
I mean, everybody gonna be looking for a job.
Yeah,
They the owner gonna fire everybody, Coach.
Or it's gonna be him. Or they gonna be wanting him to sell the team.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah. I know they're on the clock officially right now.
Officially on the clock.
Cleveland Browns are officially on the clock.
But you know, when you look at what's going on, and let's dive over and see what's going on with the draft.
Got a lot of comments right there. They say needs entering the draft. They got a lot of different positions for Cleveland. Cleveland need a lot of stuff.
He need a lot of stuff more than they get them them 2 picks you talking about, 1 and 4.
Oh, they took Baker Mayfield.
I do it. My man is.
They took him.
Yep. You know, everybody was so hard on them about taking him because they're trying to compare Baker Mayfield to
Johnny
Manziel.
With Johnny.
Right. You know, and I don't know.
Taking Baker Mayfield told me right there that they looking for the guy that's ready to play right now.
Elaborate on that, Coach.
I know they just because they just brought the guy Tyrod Taylor over there from Buffalo and told him he was signing to start for a year. But taking Baker Mayfield, the reason I say that is because Baker Mayfield is not the guy that everybody felt like had the bigger upside, but he's the guy that everybody felt like was more ready to play now, the experts. You know what I'm saying? See, Josh Allen was the guy with the upside to where you start Tyrod Taylor for 2 years or so, and now he's ready to go. But Baker Mayfield is the one guy. Him and Sam Darnold, they were the 2 guys that everybody looked at was the most ready to play right now.
Okay, I didn't realize what you just said.
I like Baker Mayfield.
Well, I like him a whole lot. I've been big on him. I mean, you go back on the record. That's like I always say. That's the great thing about the about the show is the ability to go back and look at what's been said in the past. Yeah. And I like gamers. If you go back, I compare and you disagree.
Let me ask you this, Coach.
Go ahead.
What other player can be scrutinized for some of the things that Baker Mayfield did? Not things that he was accused of doing. It's all on camera. What player could be accused for some of the same things Baker Mayfield did and be the number 1 pick?
Let's talk about the list of things he did. Let me tell you what I know he did. He was drunk, and the police tried to arrest him in Arkansas. He was up
on camera.
On
camera.
In Fayetteville, Arkansas. No, it didn't happen.
A college athlete.
Yeah, and he ran from the police there. And then the other deal is that he took the flag and ran out there and tried to poke it. It wasn't too smart.
That right there is just confidence. I mean, some people take that a different way.
Right. Some people thought that was a bad thing.
Yeah.
What else did he do, Coach?
Well, he went in there and held his crowd, shot a finger to the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Shot a bird to the crowd and
okay.
To the
That's
to
the 3 things
line.
I'm conscious of that he did. Are there some more things in the bushes I don't know about?
No.
Those 3 things. Okay. Those are none of those things are good things.
I'm just saying the police incident is enough. It's on camera.
Right.
It's one thing seeing it. Okay, let me tell you this, and I know
public intoxication.
That public intoxication, Coach. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Does he have great PR people, or does he have the kind of personality that comes across as extremely forgiving, or what allows him to be able to get away with that?
He's a quarterback. He's a talented quarterback. I mean, my thing is Cleveland. Come on, Coach. There you go, cutting me off now. Let me just hold on.
Go ahead.
Now, Cleveland in the war room had to say to themselves, and I know you got your thought in your head right now. I definitely don't want you to forget what you're going to say. Cleveland had to say in their war room, is it worth not taking our future quarterback right now for something that we're not going to even be talking about 2 years from now?
We can be talking about a year from now. 6 months. Yeah.
Training camp.
Right.
Is it worth it? That's what I think they talked about.
Yeah. I mean, I had the whole deal does any of his actions justify? Now, let's go back to, and you tell me if I'm right. No, I'm not. Oh, you know who it was? Jameson what's it? Winston, Florida State.
James Winston.
Well, how do we compare that situation? When did he get drafted? I know he got drafted first round.
Yeah, he got drafted first round. James
top 10 pick.
James Winston dropped a little bit, but he didn't really drop. Again, I said they're quarterbacks. Those are quarterbacks. You can't pass.
With all the Jameson,
you can't pass too many of those.
Jameson went to the grocery store and got the crab legs and kept on walking.
Yeah, the crab legs, and then jumped up on the table in the
lunchroom.
No, in the lounge area at the college.
2015,
where everybody hang out and everything, and Made the
the student union.
student union made the little.
He take his britches down, did he?
He made the little gesture in front of the chicks in front of that.
Oh, okay. We kept his britches up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jameis was the first overall pick in 2015.
Yeah.
First overall.
That's
pick.
why I said it. I
He
mean,
did again.
this wasn't a racial thing. I'm talking about.
I know it's not a
I said
racial
it was
thing.
a quarterback. I said it's a quarterback thing.
Yeah.
That's why I said what position. I mean, what players? Quarterbacks.
I can't argue with you, but at the same time, I'm not sure if it's clear cut.
If Baker Mayfield was a running back or receiver coach, this wouldn't happen.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't compare.
They have identified him as a special quarterback.
Yeah, I
That's
think,
what the
I think he is. I compare.
You're not the only one. The Cleveland Browns have identified him.
The Cleveland Browns need to identify somebody.
They identified Baker Mayfield as a special player, coach. That's what you just saw.
But, yeah, I agree with that.
That's what you just saw.
I totally.
The New York Giants take Saquon Barkley.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Best players are getting off the board.
Yeah.
The next guy. I mean,
he reminds me of some of those giant running backs that were really, really effective.
Now this is where it slows down and gets tricky. I think Sam Darnold is the only one of the other quarterbacks that should be in the top 5. I think you got to go take Chubb from North Carolina State.
But it comes down to need, though, Coach.
No. When you this high in the draft, Coach, you take the best player.
Mm-hmm.
Though they are top 5, top 10 player. You want a special player.
Mm-hmm.
That's what top 5 and top 10 in football are. They special players. Too many guys skip over the best player to go after a need, and now you're not getting the best player. Go get the best player right now. If you want to do something else, trade it then. If you feel like another team want to get the quarterback, But I'm saying you get better by getting special players. Lamar Jackson should be one of these top 5 picks. He should be one of these top 5 picks. The Jets. Do you know what Lamar Jackson could be in with the Jets? Come on, man.
No, Jets is another one of those.
Turn the party out, man.
It's another one of those groups that needs a lot of help. I definitely agree with you. As much as we debate, you gotta. It comes down to playmakers, guys.
There you go.
Playmakers.
Saquon Barkley just told us that right there. That pick right there just told us that they expect Eli Manning to play for another 2 or 3 years.
At least one more.
No, 2 or 3 years, Coach.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years.
I mean,
if you were looking at one more year with all these young quarterbacks, they would have took one.
Yeah,
they would have took one because Saquon is a running back. He still could have got a running back.
I mean, he should have 2 years left.
It's gonna be. That's what I'm saying. They looking at guys like Eli Manning. I mean, not Eli. They looking at guys like Drew Brees and
guys that
my man Tom Brady and all these guys.
Because he hadn't been. I mean, everybody has football.
What is Eli, about 36? About 36, maybe 37 at the most. He ain't no older than 37 years old.
Yeah, that's
no more than 37. 37. He's younger. He under 37.
He's younger. He's more like a 2003
He's 37.
37 years old.
Okay. Yeah. Let's put him right there with you.
Listen to me when I'm talking now, Coach.
I put him right there, Coach. I just, I always refer back to the kids in the class that I know how they all.
You got to realize
2001
kids.
Right
there with Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. I translate because I do so much basketball. I put him in there with T.J. Ford. I know how all those kids are. Right. Yeah. I mean, because it is what it is. Yeah, I got a football background, but
the Jets on the clock, Coach, is the 3rd pick. Who do they take before we go to this break? Because when we come back, they're gonna be in pick them. Who you got the Jets taking?
Jets need a Lamar Jackson, Coach.
But they're not gonna take him. I'm going with the New York Jets taking they got a defensive minded coach. They're taking Chubb. They're taking the defensive end, the best one, the best highly rated, the best rated player on the board right now is the defensive end Chubb. Right now, out of NC State. Is that NC State is from? Chubb. That's where I'm going with. But you got a defensive minded coach. He's saying I got to dominate one side of the ball.
Well, Coach, we like you say, we're about to go to. We're not quite about to go to break. We got time to get this one in.
Yeah.
When you look at a situation like this, Coach,
Chubb,
and you might be very well right. I understand that, but how can you make a move like that when you like the Cleveland Browns or you like the New York Jets when you're a basement organization? That's the bottom group coach.
Bottom group coach.
Yeah, bottom group.
It is what it is.
Get
up out of there.
Yeah, you get a bottom.
You don't want nobody to call you. Get up out of there.
So if you're in the bottom group, Coach, The first thing, and you don't have a quarterback.
That's the thing about it. I talked to a couple of JUCO coaches that hit me over there talking about you dogging us out, you dogging us out.
About being in the bottom.
I say, Coach, that's how I do my players back when I was at school. I say, if you don't want me to call you in that category right there, get up out of there.
Get up out of there.
This is my way of motivating.
We got equal opportunity getting out of there.
Get up out of there.
You don't try to keep them from getting out of there.
The one thing, like you said, the one thing about evaluation, you can change whenever you want to.
Yeah, you can change
with evaluation.
But the thing I have is, how can you be in that bottom group and you don't have a premier quarterback and a quarterback draft like the draft that we're looking at?
Before we go to break, Big E from Dallas Showtime say Baker Mayfield, that's a travesty. Not his ability, but his character issues wouldn't have worked for a young African American. When we come back, we
did work for a young African American.
Do we need to get Big E on the line right there?
Big E, you come on the line and talk about it.
Let me see if he's free.
Come on in. No, he right there. Tell him to talk about it. He hears us right now. Come on in and talk about that. Come on in here. We had Jim Hicks on. We might as well bring Big E on now. Hey, Lone Star Sports Show right here on the Lone Star Sports Network. Snoop Johnson and Alan Branch giving it to you. All things sports, all things Texas. This particular segment is brought to you by Harlem Hotels. Put your money where you sleep. Go look at Harlem Hotels.
We got no picture of Big E, do we?
No.
In the Dallas Showtime gear. Got it.
Yeah, catch him over there on the sideline, so we might be able to find him on Twitter somewhere. But hey, we'll be back in 180 seconds with more Lone Star Sports Show. Today's show is brought to you by FastSmallSports.com. Go take a look and see how they're leading us basketball into the 21st century through the vehicle of technology. It is what it is right here live in the DFW area where we got the 2018 NFL draft going on. We got the commission on college basketball going on.
I like how you cranked your voice up right there.
Got a lot going on, Coach.
Yeah, it look like you was in front of out there in one of those block parties.
Get it up. Back. Hey, here we are back here at the Lone Star Sports Show. All things sports, all things Texas. Right here, the big time in the state of Texas, right here in Arlington, Texas. They have the NFL draft going on. Things got Big E chiming in and tell us why he thinks
we got him. I think we got him, Coach.
Big E, you live and on the air on the Lone Star Sports Show. Go ahead and give us your opinion why you think Baker Mayfield, we saw your comment, why you think Baker Mayfield is a travesty for him to be.
That's the word he used, Coach.
That's the word he used?
Travesty.
Yeah. Speak up, Big E. Big E, we got you right there live on that. Don't get shy on me. Oh, Big E. Big E,
you there?
Big E done got camera shot, Coach. Don't try to listen to yourself, Big E. Just go ahead and talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear over here.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that, I just think if it would have been a young African American in that same situation where, going around holding his genitals and drunk and getting ran down by the police and all that, I just don't think he would be the number one pick of the NFL draft. Well, that's just my opinion.
Well, we just talked about, I think it's more of a quarterback thing than it is a race thing, because we just talked about Jameis Winston going number one. And, he had his situations going over there as well. I just think quarterbacks are positions that guys have to get in the war room and say to themselves, they have to get in the war room and say to themselves, is it worth not taking this guy? Are we even going to be talking about this a year around? Brent said, are we going to be talking about this 4 or 5 months from now?
Right.
So quarterback, they can move on from any other position.
Go ahead, E.
Yeah, Yeah, but I mean, isn't that supposed to be? And that's a good point y'all made about Jameis Winston. But isn't that supposed to be the leadership position of your team?
No doubt.
I mean, we got Martha X over here on our staff. She lined up right there with you, Lady Life, shaking her head. She on your side, Coach.
And I know we say about the race type stuff. I mean, why can a guy like Kaepernick and Vic and some of those guys that once they couldn't be starters in the NFL no more, why they can't find jobs?
Well, we know exactly what that is. I mean,
I mean,
I have no problem calling it a race issue when I think it is a race issue. On this,
but you talk about when it goes to the number one picks and all that. You just feel like that's just a quarterback thing where they willing to look over.
Well, I just think
what's probably your most important leadership position. Look over those character flaws based on what they feel like your ability.
The face of your program. That's what you're talking about. The face of your program, the quarterback.
I mean, there's a gamble there. You're right.
I just think they looked at the other guys. They needed a quarterback. I think they looked at the other guys.
I'm tell you this, Snoop. I mean, I'm sitting there looking at Jameis Winston. I mean, now just look at the other things. What about if he didn't fit the other intangibles? Like he wasn't a 6'4" rocket on quarterback.
No doubt.
That I mean, Baker Mayfield has some other things going against him too.
No, you're right about that. That's why I say
being 6 foot and 3/4.
Yeah, I just think they looked at those other guys. I think they looked at those other guys in the draft, and they felt like none of those other guys was as close to being ready to go as Baker Mayfield, and they got together as a consensus group and sat there and looked at their situation, just like I think Tampa Bay looked at Jameis Winston's situation with him being from Florida. I mean, not being from Florida, but playing in Florida, and they said to themselves, okay, we've checked all the stuff with the police. Is it worth passing up on this than taking this guy that can be our cornerstone guy for the next 10 or 15 years? That's what I think it came down to,
Well, I think if Jameis would have been if he would have been a little bit later and he got caught up after that Ezekiel stuff, I don't think he would be number one. I mean, his timing, I think album meant more than anything.
No, you're right about that. Now,
there's some legitimacy in what you talk about when you look at all the issues going on, the race issues that we have going on in the United States. So by any stretch of the imagination, we're not trying to discredit.
Sam Darnold goes to the Jets, coach.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold
to the Jets.
Yeah, I told you. Now we getting out of business. I tell you, the top 5 picks. The top 5 players are getting drafted right now.
Yeah.
Chubb has to be in there somewhere, and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Yep. No,
so you think Lamar Jackson is gonna be a top 5 pick?
Well, I don't think he is, but we just talking about when you pick in the top 5 picks,
you got to pick playmakers.
You want playmakers and dynamic guys. Okay. The one thing about Lamar Jackson that you tell me Lamar Jackson, if he played for an offensive coordinator like the guy with the Philadelphia Eagles, if he caters to Lamar's strength, that Lamar Jackson doesn't turn his team into a contender. I mean, just think what kind of dynamic player he is.
Oh yeah, I agree with that, man. I think it's kind of like with Washington. I mean, I mean, he has the ability to change the whole culture.
Deshaun Watson, right?
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good for football too. If the right team I want the right team to take Lamar Jackson. Right. I don't want somebody to put him on the shelf. I want the right team to take him, just like Deshaun Watson. I want the right team because I want to see Lamar Jackson on the floor, on the field. That's gonna be something.
Has a need.
We hadn't seen nothing like this since Michael Vick.
Yeah, no.
I would love. We took him at number 19, boys, to get a special quarterback in here.
He wouldn't be there long. I see you taking a shot over there. We're gonna talk about Dave. We got you on the line too. Hey, I'm glad Big E's on the line. We got a lot of things. We're gonna freestyle this thing going out. We gonna talk about. We got Big E on the line. Make sure y'all find Big E picture because I want y'all to show him up there with a picture on. Hey, we gonna talk about Dez Bryant. We're going to talk about doggone LeBron James in your walk-off shot. I want y'all to look up and do some homework on that now.
Hey, put you in a booby trap there. I had nothing to do with that, Big E.
LeBron did what he did because he made a game-winning defensive play and then came and won the game.
Goaltender. That's big time, though. I got to give LeBron. That's big time. He still got to make the shot. So I got to give him credit because he made
it. Come on, man.
LeBron
Oladipo threw that ball up like he was a kindergarten. That's what he was trying to make.
Yeah, he was trying to make sure LeBron just didn't block it. So you're right.
Yeah.
He was gonna miss the layup anywhere it go. My thing is that Big E. Oh yeah. My whole thing is with LeBron and that LeBron been making that kind of walk-off shot since he was 19 years old.
No, I mean he made a big shot. No. I mean, I think he's one of the
Coach,
top 5 players.
you can't discredit that shot, Coach.
Hey, let me tell you.
I'm not discrediting
hold on, let me tell you this, Big E. And I'm telling y'all on the Lone Star Sports Show today on the what's the day, the 24th, 25th, somewhere in there. Okay, I'm telling y'all today that I would lead this conversation along, and I'm talking about LeBron would be the true number 2 behind Michael Jordan and close to passing him. I just need to see LeBron one time be behind by 1 or 2 points and take one of those jump shots.
Because he can't do it. He can't do enough for you, Coach.
No. I'm not a LeBron hater, Coach. First of all, we can't survive with LeBron James out of the playoffs right now. So that ain't gonna turn me on. Indiana upsetting. Nothing's gonna turn me on because the Lakers are not in it no way. So I'm not pulling for nobody. I got one team. I don't pull for the other team to come get them and all that mess. I don't do that. I pull for the entertainment of the game. And talking about LeBron James, I rather LeBron James be in some series. This is my perfect storm. My perfect storm is for LeBron James to keep staying in it, but I want him to go to a lot of game 7s.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
a lot of game 7s.
The question is on LeBron, and we're gonna jump over there.
LeBron is special, Coach. He's special.
And move over. And that's an exciting time about this year. We just jumping from football to
You'll
basketball.
definitely be a hater to not know that he's special. He's special.
No, LeBron is special. I got him as one of the top 5 players of all time. Right now.
I got him in top 7.
How many more years does he have left in him? E. Or you Bron?
He probably got
3.
I think he want to. I think he's gonna go on for another. How old is his son? He want to play a year with his son, man.
Oh boy, LeVar Ball.
His son coming straight out of high school.
Yeah, LeVar Ball.
Yeah. Everything be set up. Yeah, he want to play a year with his son.
LeBron's son is 13, so LeBron got 5 more years, huh?
He got 5 more years. Where he playing right now? He just scored 44 last night.
Oh yeah. They say he spent over $1 million a year on his body, so.
He got it to spend.
He got it, Coach. He got it to spend.
Yeah, he got
it to spend, Coach.
He got it to spend.
We ain't never seen nobody like LeBron in our lifetime, Coach.
Well, see, that's the thing that
you talking about the physicality.
I can understand the youth. That's what I'm saying, Coach. I can understand the younger guys.
Well, he is a younger guy, Coach.
No, damn that. Damn that. We ain't gonna let E make it like that. E younger than you. E younger than me.
He ain't that young, huh?
E sat there and
I'm saying we've never seen nobody like LeBron. I ain't really see. I saw Michael and all them. I mean, we ain't never seen a specimen like LeBron.
See, we looking at his body and specimen and all that stuff like that. He wanted a better small forwards to play the game. Yeah. But I'm saying, Coach, we're looking at. I want E to go back and see were you really into it enough to appreciate what Larry? We saw all we seen is LeBron do is dominate his era. Mm-hmm. Did Larry Bird and them not dominate?
Yeah. Oh
yeah. Yeah. Larry Bird dominated with 2 other future Hall of Famers.
But again, we keep talking about those future Hall of Famers, but those guys only were great playing with Larry. Yeah. You didn't see those guys successful after Larry. Before him or after?
Because they were older. Before Mikel won Rookie of the Year, Coach.
Huh? Did you say what? You gotta watch he'll throw some stuff in there that won't be fast. I know they won't be fast. We got Honey over here. Honey gonna look it up. You gotta watch.
We're gonna check you, man.
Honey, don't follow me on. Honey, don't follow up.
I'm telling you, he'll just call some stuff out on you. Right?
I
know how he'll do it.
You get checked. He can call out in the heat of the moment before everybody
gets
to check it.
No. Right. I mean, everybody make those things. I'm just saying, I want guys to appreciate how great Kobe Bryant was in when they saw him. See, we can become creatures of the moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We can become creatures of the moment.
Captivated by the moment, Coach.
Yeah.
You're captivated by the moment.
And you got to realize, to LeBron James, for us to even be in these conversations, tell you that he's great, for us to be talking about this stuff. And I'm saying,
what that about it? He never had loss like Kobe and Jordan had. I mean, they've had some losing. I mean, some real losing going on. He never, so we can say he's never had won as much as them, but you can also say he never has lost like those guys.
Now, the one thing I can give LeBron, he's one of the smarter players because unlike Kobe, just basketball wise, making decisions, because unlike Kobe and Jordan, those guys stayed put.
Yeah, so you talking about business, basketball business.
LeBron
moved around. He's very calculated.
He's very calculated. LeBron he went to 7 straight championships, but Coach, he went to those championships choosing his teams.
Oh yeah, he manipulated.
No.
He went.
Well, you got to do one of them. If you're gonna have some guys that's pretty much their first year as coaches, you got to at least be able to choose some of your players.
But guess what though? I'm glad you said that.
So just different.
I mean, Kobe and Jordan never made it to the finals without Phil Jackson, and vice versa.
Hey, but you know what? I'm glad he said that. But just like LeBron picked his teams, he could have picked his coaches. I'm talking about he could have went and played for great coaches. LeBron don't want that.
He don't want to play
for a great coach.
He wants to be the coach.
LeBron.
I don't agree with that. I think LeBron would love to play for Popovich.
Why he ain't go to San Antonio?
I don't believe that. But do you have 12 more minutes?
Because he got drafted into Cleveland.
Stay on the phone, E, because we got to go pay bills right quick. Stay on.
Quick break. We got 12 more. We need 12 more minutes of your time.
Because we still got to talk about Dez Bryant a little bit too. I read some of your text messages. We got to talk about Dez.
The whole deal. We got to talk about this commission too.
I might get Cox on the phone too, boy, for the Dez Bryant.
We got the whole deal. I don't got enough of that left. Lone Star Sports Show right here on the Lone Star Sports Network. We're back in 180 seconds with more Lone Star Sports Show. Today's show is brought to you by Fast Small Sports. This segment is brought to you by Playbank. Go take a look at FastSmallSports.com and take a quick look, a solid, strong look at Playbank. Back in 180 seconds. Hey, here we are rolling back here at the Lone Star Sports Show. It's hot and heavy. It's basketball Thursday, but with that NFL draft being right here in Dallas-Fort Worth area, Austin, Texas, Jerry World, we got my main man, Big E, Irvin Davis, with the Dallas Showtime in here, chopping it up on some football on basketball Thursday. We can't get back.
You got Denzel Ward going at four to Cleveland, coach, and then staying at home in Ohio. And then we got Big Bradley Chubb. I told you he'd be a top 5 pick. All them quarterbacks are sliding on down. Yeah. That's why I'm telling y'all. That's why that was big with Baker Mayfield going first, because those guys that rated those quarterbacks, they did not see those other guys. They didn't see those other guys as being ready, impactful. Mm-hmm. You know, not like the media. The media was looking at these teams need quarterbacks. Okay.
Okay. Let's get some Dez Bryant in while we got Big E here. Big E. Did the Cowboys mistreat Dez Bryant?
Did they get it right? Did the Cowboys get it right?
I think the Cowboys got it right. I I think they got it right. I don't like the way the Cowboys handle the business right there.
He did.
I mean,
I like that. I like how he didn't let a couple of days go by and settle in.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't like the way they
real
handle
slick
it.
way of straddling the fence.
Well, I'm gonna tell you though, E. I'm gonna tell you.
I mean, some people. I saw Coach Snoop the other day say something like he liked the way how they didn't give him a choice and all that. I mean, you know,
yeah.
I just think he deserved a little bit more than that.
No,
you know,
no.
He did have some choice. Everybody keeps saying he did not have a choice. He had some choice. There have been multiple communications about this stuff before it came down to the end.
I think when the whole thing started, when Dez
so
Bryant,
Stephen Jones prodded that kid to say some of the stuff he said. I mean, you can't treat a kid like they've been cuddling him this whole time, and then all of a sudden now you start going a different way. I mean, you expect the resentment. You expect resentment.
But I'm saying, why was Dez Bryant all the time? Where was all this hell no? I ain't taking no pay cut. Wait, why Dez Bryant couldn't just say one time, I don't know right now because we hadn't had the conversation. Whatever's best for the team.
You're right. I agree with that. I agree with that.
I mean, I can understand after the last game they put a mic in front of you, you're going to say the wrong thing. Okay, they can't. Whitney
can tell them whatever, though. Whitney can tell them who to pick, who to waste to pick on, and all that type of stuff.
No.
Who can tell them that?
Whitney.
Jason Whitney.
Whitney took another pay cut, but I'm going to tell you this.
But you know what, though? The media and everybody don't even talk about it. See, it stays quiet for Whitney.
Guess what, though, Big E? Guess what? They finna replace Whitney's ass, too. That's coming.
They ain't gonna do nothing with it.
I guarantee you a tight end get drafted in these first 3 rounds.
They gonna draft him because they gonna draft him. They've been drafting him for years. What's that probably? Martell's probably more talented.
Jerry Jones, he was younger then. Jerry Jones right now, I'm gonna tell you.
He wasn't more talented at the time.
Jerry Jones ready to win right now.
You don't think Coach Burns, you don't think Martellus was almost just as talented as Whitney when he came to the league?
Martellus was mature enough right
exactly.
now.
That's what I was going to say.
I think the maturity part.
No. It was a situation. The timing wasn't
I think
right.
I think when they took Martellus, they was looking for something that didn't mature quick enough.
Right. If Whitten would have been sliding a little bit faster, and Martellus would have, the timing just didn't cross the path.
And Whitten might have something to do with that maturity because Whitten could have been in their ear saying, "Hell no, I ain't ready to move over yet."
Yep.
I mean, we seeing one
at
side.
At that time, we seeing
one
good
side,
then, though.
but I'm saying we still seeing one side of Whitten where he's saying all the political right things, but in them offices, in the meeting rooms, Whitten is saying another thing too now.
Well,
yeah.
Because the Cowboys then took a couple of tight ends that they was looking to replace Whitten for the long term that didn't pan out. Whitten, just like Dez, Whitten still looks at himself as a number one tight end.
They took a sleeper kid about a year or two ago.
But neither one of them, Dez Bryant and the difference between
I don't think we should let Dez go without a plan. I mean, I just want to see what the plan is.
The difference between Dez and Whitten is that Whitten at least knows how to go out and say the politically right thing in the public.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I fought Rock Nations.
You can't blame Rock Nation.
Well, whoever they had assigned to it.
No, you know when they decided they want to let Dez go when he went and told those younger players and told everybody that the biggest mistake he did was he shouldn't have played hurt.
That's right.
And they knew that.
That's right.
They knew from here on out that they were gonna get a whole different type of Dez.
Yeah. No, you right about that. Now, shit, excuse me, but Big E hit something right there.
No, that's a good point.
Big E might be an NFL analyst on the Lone Star Sports Show come season next year.
Yeah.
You hit something right there because I'm looking through my notes and everything in my head, and I'm sitting there. That could have been because this wasn't their initial plan at the start, or they would have let Dez go earlier.
Big E, my people have to get with your people and see if we can get you in for the NFL season coming up.
You get some,
Yeah, coach. Just talk about representation, coach.
By that time, Lone Star Sports Show pay some cable bill or something. Pay some cable bill gas money.
Get you look. Right now, we up with your fuel right now.
Hey, Coach Brad, before we start talking to him about the Cowboys, did y'all see? I know they would have lost the game, but have you ever seen a revolutionary athlete like LeBron dress his team in tailored suits?
I got to get LeBron that now. LeBron is
that's what everybody do what he say do because he bought the suits and stuff.
LeBron, hey, that's what I'm talking about. He get them lined up right. LeBron, let me tell you that. LeBron James got to be one of those guys that guys want to play with. Just because it looked like it's fun to be on LeBron's team off the floor.
Off the floor.
I'm talking about, it just looked like it's fun traveling. It looked like the plane with LeBron. I bet you the plane just be fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's like what you said. You said they had to go ahead and get rid of Wade now because Smith was feeling left out now.
Yeah, he was feeling left out. I'm saying these are guys that LeBron recently had been to the battles and the championships with, and then now you go in and you bring in D Wade, and you just put him in front of him.
Yeah,
you just put him in front of Jr.
And I don't think D Wade at this time in his life is that fun of a guy. I mean, he's an older veteran. I mean, LeBron was sitting back drinking a lot of wine, talking about the whole time.
Yeah. Well, he don't settle down. He got that.
LeBron didn't know if he wanted to transition with D Wade into his Kobe late years and start doing the kind of older guy thing, or if he want to still be LeBron. I like the fact. See, there's things about LeBron that I do like, and I'm gonna start talking about him more public, so people don't think I just hate LeBron. I think LeBron, the thing about LeBron, he keeps the youthfulness in the sport. Yep. I'm going to tell you, y'all don't watch, go on YouTube and watch LeBron's son play. LeBron is a big fan of his son. He watched those young guys. I see certain things that LeBron do that those kids do on their YouTube. I watch it. I'm talking about like after bucket antics and stuff like that. They're mimicking stuff that they see James Harden and some of these other guys do. LeBron does the same thing. He's a big fan of the sport.
Let me tell you the only thing I don't really like about LeBron.
Oh boy!
The only thing I don't like it helps the game overall, but I don't think you would have seen teams like Drive Nation form if LeBron wouldn't have came around and started doing that type of stuff.
That's that's all I'm sitting there saying. He just showed me that he wasn't just gonna be one side right.
And nothing against Drive Nation, but I'm just saying. I don't think I don't think they would have formed.
But I mean that tells you what kind of superstar he is because people follow the leader. And see, we talked about it early, about look at how the NBA All-Star game was. Look at how competitive now the McDonald's game was. You was in Houston at the Showcase National between Houston and Dallas. Look how those guys took pride in competing instead of playing like an All-Star game. Those guys are following LeBron James. LeBron James put that together at the All-Star game and said, we're going to compete.
Yeah. No, I mean, but
Kevin Durant and them followed him.
The thing, I mean, those kids are definitely impressionable by what's going on. And why wouldn't they be? I mean, as much as I don't think he's like necessarily the best basketball player of all time, I think he's a top 5 player. But when we step back and say what he's doing for the game and how he is with the branding and the things that he's done.
That makes him a top 5 player then. If you add in what he's done for the game, LeBron is a top 3 player.
Because, I mean, the first place I want to knock Michael Jordan on, who I think is the greatest of all time, is that Michael Jordan doesn't give a damn about anybody on what's going on.
Or Kobe.
Or Kobe. They could care less. They go right on in, hit the button, open their gate, go in.
Now, if you want to say that, if you want to call whoever the GOAT is who's done the most for the game, is Magic Johnson and LeBron James.
Magic Johnson and LeBron James.
Both of them two are sitting at the top.
Right, they are. And that's extremely important in our young people's lives.
Because you're right. Because Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant
they
don't give a damn what you think, really.
No, they don't even care what you think. They go in there and hit the button and the gate come open, Coach. They slide right on.
You think Kobe sitting around as much as we are, guys like me, you think Kobe sitting around worried about if people call him the GOAT or not right now?
No. Kobe don't even care. Michael's worse than Kobe.
He got what he wanted. He got his two jerseys retired. They go into the Hall of Fame.
I mean,
Josh Allen got drafted by the Bills.
Yeah, I figured that he was going to go on a team with bad weather. Big guy, strong arm. You got to put that in the weather.
Coming out of Wyoming, playing in Wyoming.
You can't go in there and mess with Josh Rosen and them type of guys.
Now that's the one that they were talking about had some racist tweets or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was like 13 years old.
Yeah, that don't matter though. He was 15. That don't matter. He was 15 years old. He knew what he was doing.
13, 14 years old.
He do right for wrong.
Yeah. Now, the age he was like 15 years old. Now, some of the things
he wasn't even in high school yet.
Some of the things, he was 15 years old.
He was in 9th grade.
No, he was maybe close to a sophomore. But look at the things that you got to realize if you listen to him. I like how he was able to explain it, and he showed that some of those
rap lyrics.
He was repeating rap lyrics like you see a lot of other white guys doing. I mean, I see white kids right now over there at the wings right now. They run around there and they don't hesitate to say the N word when they rapping.
Yeah.
You know, and they comfortable around their peers saying it.
Yeah, and the peers don't let them.
The peers don't care about
I
that.
experienced this all the way back in 2006, 2007 when I was coaching summer ball. I said, man, what are y'all going to do when this dude turn around and call y'all this? You know, we had 2 white kids on my team. But, you know.
They calling them that. They don't care nothing about that because they looking at it, you know.
It's it's just different.
We grew up together. So my friend, all of y'all are my friends, and this how we call each other. We talk.
Hey, on another note, man, I want to tell y'all guys, man, I thought this was I mean, to me personally, I mean, y'all, I don't know how it all came back for y'all, but to me being a participant, I mean, I thought this year the Lonestar, it was the most enjoyable Lonestar I have been at. You know, it was the most.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
It definitely was. It definitely was.
Appreciate that. Well, you were definitely a part of making it. You know, bringing the program like Dallas Showtime as we wind down.
And this is your biggest year. I just told him the other day, Coach, your program. This is the first year. I mean, they've been competitive, but I'm saying to watch those guys on other gyms, you know, that sophomore team that you really loved and you talked about them the last 2 years, keeping them together. I mean, that's going to work out for you. You know, those kids are really doing a good job. But Pop's team, you know, I like Pop's team. I'm excited about it this weekend. You know, Pop's in the Texas.
No, we did a good job, man.
Yeah,
the white team went 3-1 this past weekend.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see them as much. Now is Pop's? I saw a text today. Is Pops losing a player that's going to play on another one of your teams, or did that work, or did that work out, or whatever? I should have got Pops.
No, he losing a player that just felt like he could do a little bit more.
But he gonna stay in the program, just shift over to another team.
Well, once for all, we're running out of time again, man. We appreciate having Big E Irvin Davis of Dallas Showtime, first time on the show, I believe.
No, Big E's been on the show before.
Okay,
yeah. Well, might have been the first time in 2018. He was on there earlier.
Yeah.
Back when we was in it.
Coming in, chiming in with us, man. We get ready to break out of here, man. We all the way in the paint above the rim. So we finna finish right now. Back next week, we come back after this long weekend. Another live period. We have more NCAA basketball, NCAA live period basketball review stuff to come back in on Tuesday. Reviewing the final of how the Cowboys end up in the draft. Everybody have a great and safe weekend. Be careful. Hopefully we have good weather. Y'all have peace and love, and everybody be safe in all their travels. Lonestar Sports Show. We're out on the Lonestar Sports Network. Peace.